Animals, they're filthy, and I'm allergic to pet hair.
The chickens will lay eggs. From my sow, delicious bacon. And from my cow, fresh milk, cheese, and butter.
But I've never actually milked a cow, and I'm lactose intolerant.
You'll try, you'll learn, you'll do.
Well, okay. Where there's a cow, there is milk. Sweet tasting butter like silk. I'll make some ice cream, perhaps a nice parfait. Where there's a will, there's a way.
To Clarence, my final offspring, I'm afraid what's left is next to nothing. But so I am not forced to leave you flat. I leave a farthing and our cat. With these possessions you can make a life, perhaps find a wife, someday raise a child or two, and tell them about the grandpa they never knew, never knew.
I've got the will, where's the way? Hate to complain, what the hey?
You drew the short straw.
What more can we say?
Where there's a will,
there's a way.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes, my sons!
Where there's a try, there's a do.
You tell them, kiddos!
We got the good stuff.
At least we'll be okay.
Where there's a will...
Pop, are you okay?
Where there's a will...
Pop! I think he's gone.
I'm afraid so.
So sad.
Now where were we?
Where there's a will, there's a way.
But what about Dad?
Where there's a try, there's a do.
What's wrong with you two?
We got the good stuff, no need to find our way.
Guys!
Where there's a will, where there's a will, where there's a will, there's a way.
So what will we do now?
We? Well, with what Dad left me, I will become a gentleman farmer, marry a woman who likes vegetables, and someday have some kids who I will tell about, there was someone I was supposed to remember to tell them about.
And with what Dad left me, I will become a dairy farmer, marry a woman who likes eggs, and someday have kids who I will tell about someone. I think it rhymed with grand or pa? Grand pa sand Shaw? Maybe Pshaw? Maurice, a little help.
I forget.
This is a sad day.
Yeah, it is, but life goes on, and we all must move on. And speaking of moving on, Clarence, it's time for you to be moving out.
What? Huh?
Yeah, let me help you collect your stuff. Oh, that's right. You don't have any stuff.
You want me to leave? Now? But Maurice, Lawrence, I'm your brother. You wouldn't just throw me out with nothing but a farthing and a cat, would you?
Actually, we would. You never really fit in around here.
Yeah, always reading books and acting superior.
But I don't act superior. I barely speak.
Yeah, but we know what you're thinking.
And now we don't have to put up with it anymore.
So since where there's a will, there's a way, why don't you go find your way? That way.
And while you're at it, use that farthing for a haircut and a shave. We don't even know what you look like anymore.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Good one, Maurice. Anyway, see ya, Clarence. Don't let the barn door hit you on the way out.
But Maurice, Lawrence, you can't throw me out with nothing.
Nothing? You've got a farthing, Dad's good wishes, and Puss. You know, the cat.
So long, Clarence.
Chapter 1. Potential Is.
Hear ye, our story now begins. No time for violins. Clarence is cast aside, his birthright has been denied, wandering the countryside. He needs a travel guide.
And so began Clarence's odyssey out.